Hello friends, and welcome to episode 3 of the Crafted Pearl podcast. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crafted Pearl. You can also email me at thecraftedpearl@gmail.com. Welcome to all new viewers, all returning viewers. Happy July 5th, 2021. I hope you had a great Independence weekend. If you celebrate, we had lots of fun with family. Just fireworks and lots of good food and hanging out, and of course knitting. So it's been a little while since I've talked to you guys. We had a pretty rough end of May, 1st of June. We had some sickness, and I'll get to all that in the life stuff later in the podcast. But I'm excited to talk to you guys about the knitting and crocheting and sewing that I've done, as well as the fun acquisitions that I have to show you today. So let's get started with finished objects. The first finished object I actually don't have with me anymore. It was the socks that I made for my mom. I used the Magic Loop method by the Crazy Sock Lady, just the vanilla socks on Magic Loop. And I will insert a picture maybe here to show you. I haven't done that before, so hopefully it'll work. But I've already given those to her and she loves them. And I've got enough left over to maybe make a smaller pair of socks for one of my daughters, but I haven't really decided on what I'm gonna do with that yet. But I've got it in my scrap bag and we shall see how that goes. Second finished object that I have is also not here. It's my daughter's bedroom at the moment, but it's the Rye Light Socks by Tin Can Knits. I made the size 6 in the child size for her. They matched my vanilla socks on Magic Loop that I did, again, by the Crazy Sock Lady in my Arkansas Yarn Co. yarn. That was the, let's see, the Conversation Heart socks. Sorry, I had to refer to my notes. The Conversation Heart sock set that I bought back in February. I had enough left over to make her a matching pair, and just use the Rye Light pattern by Tin Can Knits. It was really a fun pattern to have for my very first pattern sock, and I definitely will make it again in adult sizes and child sizes. So that's really all for knitting as far as finished objects. I do have a sewing finished object you can see right here, and that is my tunic number 1 from 100 Acts of Sewing. I finished it at the beginning, well, towards the middle of May. I was able to wear it on a visit with a friend of mine in South Alabama. So I'll try to put a picture in here of that as well. And it's just a great fit. I probably would choose a different fabric next time. I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby. It's just the cotton blend fabric, but I might try it with a different fabric to see if I could get just a different fit with it. But for my first time making this pattern, it was really great. I loved the ease of the instructions. And if you've never been introduced to garment sewing before, I would highly suggest 100 Acts of Sewing. Any of her patterns, she just lays everything out so great. And you will be able to have so much confidence after making your first pattern, and easy to repeat and change the fabric and really set up a handmade wardrobe for yourself. So that's it as far as finished objects go. I did make a hat for my husband when we went to Colorado. It was just a simple beanie, 2x2 rib, decreases at the top, nothing special. So he wore that. He didn't realize it was going to be quite as cold, but I had the stuff with me to make a beanie for him. So you're a knitter when you carry extra yarn and extra needles all the way out to the other side of the country in case your husband needs a hat. As far as whips go, the last time I talked to you guys, I was gonna add on the sleeves to my October Skies vest by Lady J Crochet. I have decided that I'm considering frogging it or donating it, giving it to someone. I just don't think, even with the sleeves, that I will wear it. As I am progressing in my garment making and finding things that truly fit my body and the shape that I want to have, boxy is just really not the way that I want to go with bulky crochet, bulky yarn. So I don't think that I will wear it very much. So I'm considering giving it to someone else that it might fit better, or frogging it and using the yarn for something else. I haven't quite decided on what I'm going to do with that yet, but that's just, it did not get completed this month. It's got put to the back side or the back burner, and I just didn't really want to mess with it. So I have to make a decision, either get rid of it or frog it, because keeping it around is just not doing any good for me or anybody else. So I worked on my mesa top, and I had the first panel of that done on the last podcast. That was my first, well, it's not my first crochet garment, but it was my first garment where I was really working with ease, positive ease, and I didn't understand the sizing and had to figure out what size I needed to make. So I realized when I picked up the second panel to work on it that I had made the incorrect size. So I frogged it and I started it over, and my plan was to wear it to a wedding, a family wedding that we went to at the beginning of, or this middle part of June. And I didn't get it done. So I'm still working on it. I have it just in a little tote bag I showed you guys last time. I worked out the correct measurement. And so I've just gotten started on the first panel again. I really do love that lace work with the double crochets and the chains in between. So I do want to finish this. I think it'll be a really good summer staple, especially now that I have determined the correct size to use or to wear, and really understand positive and negative ease a lot more now. I think it will be easier for me to make more garments, and I definitely want to finish this one to have as a summer staple. The second whip that I have are my Magic Heel Socks. And this is a pattern by the Autumn Acorn. I was making these for my son, and the Loops and Threads Perfect Pair from Michaels. I think Better Days was the colorway because he's an Auburn fan. I made the first sock. I love the Magic Heel construction. So you don't have a defined heel flap or gusset on the back of the sock. And she has a pattern on Ravelry if you want to purchase that. But it is a great heel for a child in your life, somebody you don't really know the correct foot size for. You guess that maybe they're a certain size, but a heel can make a big difference in how the sock fits. So I cast on 64 stitches based on his foot size. But when he tried on the first sock, I noticed that the fabric was stretched really, really thin over his feet. His feet are still very thick. So he has a very high arch and has very thick feet. So the fabric, when it was on his foot, was really not, it was stretched too far. So it was really distorting the pattern, and it did not look good on him. So I had my husband try on the socks because their feet are about the same size, and he really liked them. So I am finished the first sock, and I am on the leg. I'm doing a 40-row leg on the second sock, and I haven't picked these up lately. I've kind of gotten burnt out on sock knitting. I really want to pick it back up again, but I think I want to try more pattern socks, something to keep my interest a little bit more than manila. But since it's summertime here in Alabama, he's not going to be wearing these anytime soon. So I will be working on these to have them ready for fall, for my husband to wear as well. And then there is a local yarn shop, about 20-30 minutes from me. They posted the other day that they actually have some Auburn themed yarn, and I'm going to go pick that up for him and hopefully get started on another pair of socks for him. I'm going to increase the amount of stitches that I do, and hopefully that will maybe cast on the large size instead of the medium, and that'll allow for more of the thickness in his foot. But if you guys know of any sock tips for people who have higher arches, thicker feet, please comment below and let me know. I'm still new to sock knitting, so I don't really, I don't know everything that there is to know. So if you have any tips on knitting for children who have higher arches, please let me know in the comments, and that would be greatly appreciated. Let's see, whip number 3 is my Round and Round cowl by the Crazy Sock Lady. I actually do have the pattern for this one available. It's black and white, but this is the Round and Round cowl. And I have been using yarn that I purchased from Amy Florence of Dyeworks. And this was in the, I think it's Wash Your Hands or Don't Touch Your Face, maybe. Don't Touch Your Face colorway. I've showed it before. Gosh, guys, my allergies are bothering me today. Sorry. So this has been my car knitting during my girls' gymnastics classes. I have gotten several pattern repeats on here. It's an 8-row repeat. And normally you would use minis, like from Advent Calendar or something like that, to do the pattern. But this is a variegated yarn, and I love how the navy is striping up the pattern throughout. It's beautiful. I love it. So that has been my knitting during gymnastics class for my girls. And that has been put on pause lately because I have another project coming up that is my next whip, but also leads me into acquisitions for you guys. And this is just in a bag that I got off of Amazon. My next whip is in a bag from Pink Owl Stitches. I'll link her below. She has a wonderful, wonderful Etsy shop. She is constantly updating, and she has the cutest patterns. I loved the fox. I think I've shown this here before, but I love all the different foxes, especially the ones with the glasses. That was my favorite. So I recently purchased yarn from Arkansas Yarn Company to make the Bright Axis tee. Now, the Bright Axis tee, let me find the book. Did I have it over here? Let's see. Pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The Bright Axis tee is actually found in a pattern found in this book, Knit Happy with Self-Striping Yarn. You can purchase this off of Arkansas Yarn Company's website. This on Amazon. There are several different places where you can purchase it, but the pattern is in the book. And I got the book not too long ago, and then ordered the yarn from Lori and Jess from Arkansas Yarn Company to knit this beautiful, beautiful Bright Axis tee. The yarn that I purchased was Malabrigo sock in the color fuchsia. So it's a very pretty, like, it's showing up like a hot pink, but it has a little bit more of purple tones, undertones to it here, but that's Malabrigo sock and fuchsia. And then I also got a self-striping yarn for the top, and this is Woolens and Nosh. And their colorway, let's see. I have my, there. The Woolens and Nosh, and this is the colorway Happy Bright. So that's gonna be the self-striping section at the top of my shirt. So I've been working on it lately, and I am about 5 inches into the body. It's been so fun to knit. It's just stockinette, round and round and round right now. So I love just the ease of being able to take it anywhere with me right now. I'm actually gonna be taking it with me tonight while my girls are at gymnastics. I took it with me to see family yesterday. I actually started this project in the car on vacation and worked on it throughout vacation. Once I got past the ribbing, it's just stockinette for miles, and it's just the best bring with you anywhere type of project. So I've been working on that. I am monogamous on my projects right now, and that's going to be it. This project has a time limit because I will be wearing it when I go to visit Lori and Jess and Anna, and also Kristen and Maddie from We Share Needles. I'll be seeing them at the end of July when I go and visit for the Arkansas Yarn Crawl. So my goal is to have that finished by the time I go, so I can wear it when I go visit the store. So that's kind of my main project right now. That's my main whip that I'm focusing on. Only giving my attention to this at the moment so I can get it finished. So continuing into acquisitions and Arkansas Yarn Company. I ordered a book and yarn set from them. The book by Kathleen Fuller, Hooked on You, it's so good. I finished it in probably 2 or 3 days. Kathleen Fuller wrote this book, and the yarn shop in the book is based on Arkansas Yarn Company and the town of Malvern, Arkansas. So it's a romance book. It's very, very good. If you haven't picked it up, I don't know if Lori has any more copies yet, but the book does come with a pattern. You can get the book separately or you can buy it with the yarn. And this is a merino DK yarn. And it's just the Hooked on You color. Look how pretty that is together. It matches it perfectly, and it comes with her Arkansas Yarn Company stitch marker. Progress Keeper, excuse me, which I love. So I purchased this together, and there's a pattern that comes along with the book. There's a knit and a crochet pattern, and Yvonne from the Nitty Bitty Sisters, she and I are going to be knitting the hat pattern that comes along with this together because I influenced her to buy the book and the yarn. You're welcome, Yvonne. So we're gonna knit that together and have that for this winter. So I'm very excited about that. So that's another acquisition for you. My next acquisition, also from Arkansas Yarn Company. Let me dig down in my basket here. I got the String of Hearts sock set. Also came with a really pretty Progress Keeper. Let's see if it'll focus. This sock kit goes with the pattern of the String of Hearts socks by Maddie of We Share Needles. She wrote a beautiful sock pattern. It's got cabled hearts on the side, and I'm excited to try cables on socks for the first time and use this beautiful yarn. I love the color. My daughter's probably gonna wanna steal it from me. So this is the 120 gram sock kit on Yummy Plush, 8515 superwash merino and nylon, 437 yards for the main color and 80 yards, 20 grams for the mini. So it's beautiful, beautiful. Let's see what's next. My friend Lindsay, I'll tag her Instagram handle down right here. She and I talked about wanting to do the Mandy's Makings share a pair sets that Mandy posts on Instagram that always sell out so quickly. So we decided to knit socks together. We would take turns. 1 month I would buy yarn for both of us, and the next month she would buy the yarn. So the first month I sent her some yarn that I had purchased from a trip that we had taken, but I recently got yarn from her and a set of needles, but I didn't bring those with me today. This is from Holly Doll's Fiber Arts, and it's a really pretty like peach and gray and tan. There's a picture on my Instagram feed if you're curious about what that looks like outside in natural lighting. But the fiber content is superwash sport. So it's 100% superwash merino, sport weight 325 yards to 100 grams. So I'm excited to make some sport weight socks with this and try, I think Julianne Knitter has a pattern for sport weight yarn. So I'm gonna try that out and cast those on pretty soon. She actually got yarn to match. So we'll have matching sets for that. I have my Yarnable. I got my first Yarnable subscription, and this was Wildflowers on the plush sock base. And that is 8515 superwash merino and nylon, 437 yards. I love, love, love the colors. My middle daughter has claimed this because of the greenish turquoise. She said she wants Mama to make her a pair of socks out of that. So this was my first Yarnable box. This was Yarnable for June. and I was really, really pumped about everything that I got with it. The box of extras was just so neat. The stitch markers I loved. The little hexagon stitch markers were fantastic, and I've got one of those on my project right now. So I'm excited. I should be getting my next box. My July box is scheduled to come at the end of this week. So I'm very excited about that. Towards the end of May, my husband and I took a trip to Estes Park, Colorado. We celebrated his 40th birthday and our 14th wedding anniversary, which was June 2nd. And I had said I was gonna vlog that last time. I actually did not vlog that. I have some pictures I'll put in at the end of this video for you. But our daughter was sick. Our youngest daughter was sick when we left. So Mama was kind of in nervous mode while we were gone. She was fine, but I really wasn't much into vlogging then. So tried to enjoy our trip. And one of the things that I wanted to do on our trip was to visit the Stitchin Den. So every time we go somewhere, I try to look for a local yarn store. I love to go and purchase yarn from them specific to the city that we're in. So we stopped by the Stitchin Den, and the Stitchin Den is a 5,000 square foot yarn store. And sadly, they were in the process of renovating. So they had most of their yarn packed up except for a small portion of their store. So I would love to go back one day when all of it is renovated and all 5,000 square feet are open, because I can't imagine 5,000 square feet of yarn. But just the small portion that I saw was amazing. And one of the ladies in the store, she actually had recently moved there and was working in the store. I said, I want something that is specific to the Stitchin Den. So she pointed me out to this custom color for the Wish You Were Here in Estes Park. So that was their local yarn store day. So that's the color name, Wish You Were Here in Estes Park. And this is by Herd of Cats, the Road Trip Sock Yarn. And this is, let's see, just have the fiber content on here. Okay, 8515, superwash merino and nylon, and it is 400 meters to 100 grams. So it's very much earthy tones, blues, greens, tans, some off-white to represent the Rocky Mountains. It's a little bit of brown in there. I think these would make great socks for my dad. So I'm gonna try to make a pair of socks for him. And then I picked up a little stitch marker. See if you can see their logo on there. The Stitchin Den, so it's a little bigger. So I picked up a little stitch marker to go with the yarn. I also purchased 3 skeins of 100 Ravens. This is their fingering weight yarn. I purchased 3 skeins. This is more of a like a hot pink, similar to what I purchased from Arkansas Yarn Company for my bright axis tee. And then a gray. My plan with this is to either add this in with some other yarn that I have for my first Stephen West shawl. I'm gonna choose that as soon as I finish with the bright axis tee and finish up my other whips to work on for the fall. Or I am going to maybe do the Heritage Arts Company. She put out a shawl recently. I think this would be beautiful with the shawl design that she has. So very happy with my purchase. I thought it was very pretty, and this is not a local dyer to them, but it was one that she recommended. My friend Yvonne from the Nitty Bitty Sisters, a while back, probably on their first or second podcast, they were talking about making dish rags, knitting dish rags, and trying out the different cotton brands from different shops and things like that. So I had mentioned to her that I had never tried Knit Picks Dishy. So she was so kind. This has been a while ago. I don't know why I have forgotten to mention it to you, but she was so kind to send me 2 colors of Knit Picks Dishy. And she knows I like purple, so she sent me purple and then this really pretty navy blue. So I'm excited to try to make some more dishcloths. When I first started knitting in November, I was really into knitting dishcloths They were quick, they were easy to make, and I made some for friends, for Christmas gifts and things like that. So I'm excited to make some more. I really love using them in my kitchen to wipe down my counters, or, you know, to really want to make a dish towel. So I may try to use these two colors and make a dish towel. But thank you, Yvonne. I know I've told you thank you already, but I haven't showed them on the podcast yet. So I wanted to make sure I did that today. Also at the Stitchin Den, I purchased my first set of Cocoa Knits stitch markers. And I just got the one that has the 6 colors in it. These are the, for a size US 7, 4.5 millimeter. You can see those, all just the different sizes, and are the different colors. And they're so fun. I've always wanted a set of the Cocoa Knit stitch markers, and I found those while I was at the Stitchin Den and purchased those as well. I just came across a whip that I forgot to show you. So I'm gonna pull it out. Pardon the crinkle, it's in my very fancy yarn bag, a Ziploc. I have, before I started the Bright Axis tee, I've been working on my sweater. So this is my Lazy Sunday State of Mind sweater. I've been working on this, and I have the sleeves on hold. I'm just working my way and stockinette down the body of the sweater. And this is in, let me hold it the correct way. This is in a Knit Picks. It's got more of a purplish tint to it in person. But I love the flecks of the alpaca throughout, the natural fiber content coming through. So it got really too hot to work on this because it's Alabama and it's like 100 degrees outside. So I've put this away, and we'll work on this when it cools down a little bit. And it's on size 11 needles. I actually did a swatch and got gauged with size 11. These are on my Knitter's Pride set, and the bamboo needles work really, really well with this fiber content, and it just glides on the needles. It's great. I've gotten great stitch definition with it, so I'm very, very, very excited to continue working on this when it cools down a little bit, but it's going really, really fast. I will continue working on that later. That's it as far as acquisitions and whips and finished objects for you guys. A little bit of life chat. We've just been really busy as a family. We had some sickness in May, at the end of May. I was able to go and visit some friends, and we've taken a couple of family vacations. One of those, we just went to visit some family in Indiana for a wedding, and then on the way home, we were able to stop at the Ark Encounter in Kentucky and visit there. That's kind of been on our bucket list as a family vacation. So we were able to cross that off the list this year. And I had mentioned to Nancy, again, of the Nitty Bitty Sisters podcast, I said, hey, we're going on vacation. We're coming through your area. You know, just wanted to say hey. And she said, well, how about a meetup? What do you think about that? And so she asked if we were coming through a particular city on the way back home. And I told her that we were. And so she suggested a place for us to meet up. And I was so excited to get to meet Nancy and Yvonne. They were so sweet with my children and so kind. And, you know, they gave them quarters to feed the ducks. And it was just very, very sweet time together to get to meet somebody in real life that you met on this app. That's just crazy. And so they were so sweet, and I hope that we get to hang out together again. I will definitely make sure to meet up with them whenever we come back through that area. But it was neat. I'll put a picture up of us together. We talked about yarn, we talked about family, we talked about life. So it was a great time together, and I'm glad that we were able to do that. So thank you, Nancy and Yvonne, for driving to meet us. We really appreciate it. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have heard me recently discuss a diagnosis that I have, a medical diagnosis that I have been given. I was diagnosed at the beginning of June with rheumatoid arthritis, and that has affected my knitting some. The warm weather helps my joints feel a lot better. I have a couple of friends that have rheumatoid arthritis. So we've been chatting through that, but I've been making some dietary changes and started some new medication that for the most part makes me feel better. I have up days and down days with it, but it has affected my knitting. My hands will get very, very sore, my joints in my fingers. So I'll have to take a break. Or there are days where I don't knit at all because my hands just don't want to work that day. So it is something that has made me very, very thankful for the times when I do have, my hands are working the way they're supposed to. And that I am able to knit and crochet and work with my hands. It is a blessing to be able to do that. So I'm very, very thankful for the times when I'm not hurting and I can knit or crochet. So thank you for everybody who's just given so much support on that, suggestions on things to do while knitting and crocheting. Just, hey, we're praying for you. Thank you so much for all of that. It means the world to me. And you guys, I mean, 120 something subscribers. I think it was 123 when I looked yesterday. I mean, guys, I'm grateful for every single one of you. And my second video hit over 1,000 views and my mind is just blown. Like, so grateful for every person who is here. If you have not subscribed already, I would love for you to. I'm going to do a big giveaway when I hit 250 subscribers here on YouTube. Would love for you to continue to be a part of this community if you are not already. I know it's been a while since I have podcasted with you, but hopefully I will be able to be back more as the summer progresses. We're kind of winding down on our trips and everything like that, but hope to be more regular in my podcasting with you. I enjoy watching your videos. I enjoy keeping up with you in the comments and chatting with you. Always happy. Send me a message on Instagram, email me, message me here. I would love to get to know you more. So thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate each one of you being here and I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy knitting. Bye. Thank you.